Typically Christmas is a time where people are wanting to come together, and it might be that the person with the eating disorder hasn't seen certain people for a while and they don't know the struggles that they've been through, and then that person has to decide if they tell someone or what they say, and that can feel really challenging. Where do you start with that conversation? It can also go the other way, where people know that they have been struggling and then they say comments which are meant in a positive way, like you're looking healthier or it's good to see you eating more, and the eating disorder of course puts a really negative spin on it. And I think maybe one of the biggest ones is that Christmas we tend to eat more and we tend to have different things, and all that's really normal and normally something that brings so much joy, but the person with the eating disorder might feel like they can't really join in and they can feel really excluded from that period. I like to go through really practical tips with people. We talk about food choices and we also look at the techniques to use during and after meals, as well as conversations about how to set boundaries with people. Christmas or any other festive period can be stressful anyway without an eating disorder, and having extra support at that time can be the difference between someone feeling they can manage and someone feeling like they can't. There are many different types of eating disorders and they all have slightly different signs. There isn't just one sign that makes an eating disorder, it's the whole picture. Some key signs to look out for though are if someone's eating habits have drastically changed, if their mood hugely fluctuates around food or even a conversation around food. Potentially their weight may have drastically changed, but that's not always the case. I would recommend to go and try and learn about the signs of an eating disorder, because there are many different ones and knowledge is power. The Eating Disorder charity Beat has a fantastic website full of really useful resources, and also if you have an eating disorder or you're worried about having one, if you can go and see your GP, ideally as soon as possible. And the charity Beat also has a really good resource specifically on that conversation, because people worry they won't really be heard and they'll be dismissed. People have this notion of, well, I'm not sick enough. If you are worried about someone else having an eating disorder, if you can try and have a think about what to say before you have that conversation with them, so you feel a little bit more prepared, and ideally pick a time where you're not going to be disturbed, you can be alone, ideally not around a mealtime as well, and a time where you're less likely to be in a place where either of you are angry or upset. Eating disorders, they thrive on secrecy, and having conversations that highlight difficulties can bring up all sorts of reactions on either side. If you can try and stay calm and objective in the situation, it's really hard but really helpful.